All right, let's stay in the SEC and let's bring in Shea Dixon. How about that? Bengal Tiger, from one guy who's not sleeping to another guy who's not sleeping. The last time we talked to you, it feels like it was a couple weeks ago, but I think it was Sunday afternoon. A lot has gone on since then. We saw Lane Kiffin on campus. My producer, Trey, asked me if that Lamar Brown image with Lane Kiffin was AI generated. I said, no, I think they just got him on campus the day that Lane was there. How did that go down, Shay?
That one is not too tough, Josh. When you go to high school on campus and live a few minutes from campus, like the dead period, hit Sunday at midnight. So they got him onto campus. They got another guy we'll talk about here in a moment onto campus just to meet with Lane going into the week. Obviously, given the new hire, he brought some staff with him, not all of them, but getting some face-to-face time because Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday through Friday is signing day. You're not able to have that face-to-face time. Yeah. We're sitting here in a situation, Josh, where, and this is the nature of the business, but when you make a hire like this right before the early signing period, it's a win, right? Like now you don't go through the early signing period without a head coach, and you're not going into the portal in January without a head coach who might be in the playoffs. The downside is you've got a current staff in place who have not been told their future. They don't know what to tell recruits. You've got a new staff who, with Lane bringing over a number of offensive coaches, those guys got term sheets signed late last night, as Wilson reported at the Advocate first, Wilson Alexander. And those guys are handing out offers. And we're seeing the, Ole Miss players decommit, and they're targeting a lot of them. So it's almost a feel, Josh, of like LSU's got two different recruiting kind of strategies going on right now of what had happened the whole way with the prior staff and then what the new staff would like to see. And we've already seen Jalen Chapman is decommitted this morning. We've seen talk about guys holding off and not signing right now. It's all fluid given the reality of the situation LSU is in, where the people who recruited, the coaches and personnel who recruited these guys for so long, don't have an answer to give to these parents and players and agents as to what their future holds.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting times in the Bayou. When do you think these recruits are going to be able to meet Lane face to face? Of course, the ones that are local are going to be able to get there whenever they can. But I mean, is there like a visit date set up for January? Do you know when they're going to be able to meet their future head coach?
No, and look, some high school coaches are going to go over and meet with them, because like you can't meet with the recruits, but you can meet with the high school coaches here. The agents are going to be on the phone, all of that. But there is some of that going on right now where they're going to go up and talk to Lane. And I think a lot of people are looking for answers as to what does the future hold. Let's say pointing out Richard Anderson. He goes to Edna Carr. That's a Frank Wilson guy. Aiden Hall, his teammate, goes to Edna Carr, is committed to LSU. Those guys, while they don't play running back, have been recruited by Frank for a long time. And you go back to look at the rivals' national high school rankings. Edna Carr is one of the best teams in the country. Louisiana is full of talent all over the board, and nobody's got a better relationship with Bryce Brown, the head coach of Edna Carr, than Frank Wilson. I mean, in his introductory press conference as interim head coach, he singles out Bryce Brown by name. So Bryce Brown, as the head coach of Carr, is going to be in a situation where when his players, like a five-star like Richard Anderson, are saying, I want to go to LSU, but what do? I don't know what the defensive staff will be. We don't know if Frank will be there. This is totally uncharted territory. We don't know this new staff. What do I sign Wednesday? And I think that's what these next 24 hours are about, which is why you'll see kind of a lot of these high school coaches and agents playing a role here into trying to figure out with Lane, hey, where do things really stand? How much can you tell us about what your staff might look like beyond Wednesday?
Yeah, really going to be fun to watch this LSU, this 2027 class come together. But let's not talk 2027. We're going to talk about who LSU is targeting down the stretch. But who do they need to play defense for? I know that the top of the list sounds locked in, but is there anybody maybe further down on that commit list that LSU needs to worry about?
Look, Lamar Brown is the number one recruit in the country on the Rivals industry rankings. He seems locked in at this point, but right there with him is Richard Anderson, 5-star, number 1 D lineman on the industry rankings. We're watching what he's going to do because he's kind of said, hey, I do want to be at LSU, but as I just explained, I don't know who my future coach could be. I don't know if Frank's there. I'm close to Frank. What's going to happen? A guy then I would go further down the list. You have him on the screen now, Bryson Martinez. He took an official visit to Texas this couple of weeks ago. He had made an unofficial visit before then. My gut tells me he does sign with LSU, but these are nervous moments. He made those visits because he didn't know who the coach was going to be. He didn't know who the O-line coach would be. We still have not heard that from Lane Kiffin. So some of these guys, even if they do sign Wednesday, Josh, will have to do so not having those answers. And Bryson Martinez is a kid from the Baton Rouge area. Lamar Brown is from Baton Rouge. So like a lot of these guys are Louisiana guys who want to just go to LSU. And it's made it a little tough here for them to have to say, I'm coming with a bit of an unknown of I don't know who might be coaching me. And that's sort of the nature of the business. Haven Finney's no different. He's not a Louisiana kid, so he doesn't have that natural tie. Big reason why Lane, at his Monday introductory press conference, said, one of the reasons I came here and LSU's always been a winner is because they have Louisiana talent. Those Louisiana guys usually will want to go to LSU regardless. And nobody expects your position coach to be there for all 3 to 5 years of your college. It's just so much happens these days.
Unless you're at LSU and you're a DB.
Unless you're at LSU and you're a DB, correct. And look, we saw when Brian Kelly came in, he fired Corey Raymond.
Briefly.
Raymond went to
he realized his mistake pretty quickly.
Well, I think that he was told to hire Corey Raymond back from Florida, and we saw a quick turnaround. They get DJ Pickett, and they looked very good at DB this year. But a guy like Haven Finney's a perfect example. He's from California, no ties to LSU, and his dad is going on the record, which makes it very easy to see, like, here's the truth of it. Haven wants to go to LSU, but if Corey Raymond's not going to be there, Haven needs to rethink his decision because the Finney family views Corey Raymond as someone who, look at all of the skins on his wall. Every player he's put into the NFL, all the Thorpe Awards here. I mean, from Ron Cooper in the early 2000s to Corey Raymond, that's what built DBU, that whole moniker of it. And it fell off for a while. And then Corey came back, and now we see it's being built back up. And so for Haven Finney, his dad saying, Haven's going to sign Wednesday if Corey's there. Is Lane able to give parents those answers? That's what we're sort of playing the waiting game on between now and Wednesday. And I think for a situation like LSU, you'll sign a large number of guys by Wednesday at 9 a.m. And then, we'll be like, man, they figured it out. But some of this is going to drag out beyond that. It could be Thursday. It could be Friday. It could be the forgotten February signing period that still exists, where then they would really be able to know who's on staff. So that obviously comes into play if you're not an early enrollee, which some of these guys aren't. So
some of them will have the option, but you're right. I mean, we can pretty much say as of today, probably about 80% will be signed by this time tomorrow. Yes. Maybe, 4 or 5 guys, maybe take it through January, but probably even less than that. So let's wrap it up on this. Who could LSU add to this class by tomorrow?
That's the other end of this, right? Yeah. Is that we've seen them hand out Ole Miss offers and guys decommit or stay committed and have to think about it. And very quickly, Lane got some term sheets signed. So let's look at a guy like Joe Cox, right? Old Georgia quarterback. He had been at Bama, then had been at Ole Miss. Now he's at LSU. Co-OC, tight ends coach, and Charlie Weiss as well, who's the OC and had his term sheet signed it. J.C. Anderson's an Ole Miss tight end commit, Josh. Well, he committed to those guys. Now he's thinking, do I follow them to LSU in a class where LSU really needs tight ends? But the biggest thing is receiver. Expect shuffle here. Jabari Mack will sign with LSU. He's their highest ranked receiver.
Mm-hmm.
We already saw Tristan Keys decommit at one point. We saw early in the process Ja'Kai Anderson decommit for SMU. Now we've seen sort of some late shuffling where they've made offers, and Braden Allen, a Louisiana kid, decommitted from OU and is now trying to get on board with LSU. And it's almost one of those things where he got the green light from the old staff. Is Lane giving him the green light? I think they do. I expect Braden Allen would sign with LSU. But I'm also watching Corey Barber, and we've had Rivals RPM picks go in there. He was committed to Ole Miss. He decommitted from Ole Miss. The coaches who recruited him to Ole Miss were brought down with Lane on that flight on Sunday to LSU. And you can kind of put the pieces together there, right? Like if Lane goes from LSU and goes from Ole Miss to LSU, brings with him these guys who recruited Corey Barber decommits from Ole Miss, and signing days in 2 days, you can probably guess what Corey Barber is going to do. But it's a situation where Corey Barber wasn't a guy LSU had recruited, Josh, like through this process of things. And because of that, it's kind of a situation where you'll see a final recruiting class that ends up being not a 50-50 split by any means, but a blend of who they had been recruiting all along, some guys that I think this new staff does not want to sign on Wednesday and thinks they should go ahead and move on and go into a different direction with, and then new additions that LSU wasn't on. So it's going to be kind of a hodgepodge here between the prior regime, Lane's regime, and whatever decisions are made in short order here.
Yeah.
But he had his first press conference on Monday, and now he's having to decide in 48 hours, not just the coaching staff, but who are we signing and who are we sending scholarship papers to and all of that. And Josh, then we could sit here all day. You're doing NIL talk, rev share talk, all of that kind of stuff with Austin Thomas, who's been the GM. Well, Lane just brought Billy Glasscock, who was the Ole Miss GM. Now he's going to be involved in that. So there's just so many moving pieces to where it makes LSU's week pretty unpredictable just because a lot of people are looking for answers.
Well, unpredictable doesn't mean fun. So we'll see if we can still have some fun tomorrow. I'm sure it will be. This is a little bit different of a look for LSU this cycle. Next year at this time, it'll be much different with Lane being in place for a full cycle, recruiting his guys, having his guys go out and recruit. So it's going to be fun, though. We're going to cover it. Shea Dixon, Bengal Tiger, thank you for dropping by the Inside Scoop today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Josh.
Here we are on signing day eve, talking LSU. LSU fans, get in the comment section. You got Lane Kiffin. You got some 5 stars committed. Who do you want to sign tomorrow? Talk to us in the comment